right? I am trying to run this loop n by 2 times. That is what I am essentially trying to do, right? Why I am doing it, or why am I running it n by 2 times, is because I need to call the nth term for both the sequences, right? So whatever my I is, and for calling in one iteration, for calling these functions, my I needs to be same. So when I is equal to n, I'll get first even term and I'll get first prime term. When I equals to 2, I'll get second even term and second prime term. But since we are combining two series together, right, what would happen is that had this condition been I less than equals to n, so it would have printed twice the number of n. That is what it would have done. That is the reason I have reduced my n to half and I am using it in that condition. This is one thing, right? Second thing is that if the n which I enter, right, it is odd number. So if it is odd number, let's say 9, so m would evaluate to 9 by 2, which would be 4 and not 5. So this loop would run for only 4 times and not 5 times. So at the max it could print till 4th even term and 4th prime term. So it would be printing me 8 numbers altogether, whereas what I required was 9 numbers, right? So what I did was that whenever it is an odd number, I am just increasing my m to 1. So this loop now would run again 5 times. Is this clear? यहाँ तक? Okay, great, good. Okay, so the next thing which I would be doing is that if my n is 10, that is if my n is even, this loop would run 5 times and it would give me, it would print till 5th even term and it would print till 5th prime term, right? So when n is 10 or whenever n is even, this thing is fine, no issues at all. But if my n is odd, right, then in that case, right, I just need to print 5 terms of the even series, but I need to print 4 terms of odd series, right? Is this thing clear? If my n is odd, right, I need to print, yes, correct, okay, right? So what I tried to do is I tried to put in a condition wherein this thing would not be printed. And what would my condition be? My condition would be such that it should identify that this is the last iteration of my loop and I do not need to print this, right? So what are the two conditions? One condition is that my n, the number which I have entered, it is an odd number. So if it is an odd number, I do not need to print this. This is for sure. But this should be done only in case of last iteration. So how am I checking the last iteration? Last iteration would be checked when my I plus 1, right, would be greater than m, right? So what I am essentially checking? Last iteration and n is odd, right? That is what I am checking. Now is it clear? Yes, great. So what I am essentially doing is that I am trying to find out, or I am writing the condition in only in which case this statement should be printed, right? So I think it should be fairly clear now. Again, if you did not understand, let me know. Okay, great. Right, so if you, this is how you would, you'll have to write conditions whenever you are trying to combine two sequences. Right, so most probably this sequence or this condition would be same whenever we are combining multiple sequences. Most of the times it would be same. Right? Is that clear? So you can ratify this condition, or you can find out ways. Right? Fine? Anybody who did not understand it, let me know.